Morning, guys. It is Monday, December 24th, the night before Santa Claus comes, and it's about 11 o'clock, 20 after, something like that, and I'm out here at the shop. I didn't get anything done yesterday, ended up not feeling real well last night, so I woke up this morning ambitious and ready to go, and I'll show you what we're doing. I think in the last video I showed everything is bagged up, masked up, and ready to go. One thing I may do yet is throw a bag over the back of the truck, just so I don't have any dirt flying around. But everything is feathered out real nice from that second prime, and you can see I've got a little bit of foam soft edge tape around my paper in there. With those compound curves, I have trouble doing a soft edge with my 2-inch tape, but I did do soft edge with the 2-inch tape up here in the edge of the jamb. You can see where it's rolled back, and all those edges are scuffed. I do have a couple spots I broke through. I am going to dust with some sealer. I got one there. I had a goofy area, which I don't know if we saw that the other day. You can see that line. That was a melt line from before. I may throw some sealer over that, and I've got a dot up there from a stone chip that I put some glazing putty in and sanded that with 320, so I'm going to dust that out with some sealer too. You can see we got some masking tape up where the seam sealer is going to go, and that is going to be the source of today's video, seam sealing. And we'll go ahead and get that on the go for you guys. Probably looks a little wide, but the factory seam was huge in there, so I'm going to do it, as similar as I can on the inside. And we're probably looking at an inch and a quarter seam in there that's brushed out. And then underneath on the cab corner it was real tight, and I will take my finger and smear that seam tight, and then on the inside I will spread that out with the acid brush. And we got the same thing going on the other side. A little bit shorter seam on the back. Everything's been final wiped with wax and grease remover and glass cleaner, which is still sitting on the floor there. But same thing over here. We got that one in nice. Everything's tight. As tight as it's going to get. Luckily I'm spraying low, so it won't matter. And got my foam aperture tape over there too. So without further ado, here's what we got. We got the 3M heavy body seam sealer, which I'm going to use. Other things that might be noteworthy you might want to have are some gloves, extra mixing tips. There's one, and I got 3 more in the bag. Got an acid brush there. I got another one behind my ear, and towels. So I'm going to glove up, and we'll get this party started. Alright, here we go. First thing I'm going to do is I got my mixing board here, and I'm going to squeeze out a little bit out of this tube to make sure it's mixing properly and that my gun's working properly. Release pressure off that, and we're going to go ahead and run a bead. Now the factory seam is not brushed out back here, but mine is going to be. And I hope I'm not completely blocking you guys. I think the guns that they do these seams with at the factory are a lot larger tip. I cut that tip as large as it would go. And still wasn't putting a very big puddle out. So you don't have a lot of time to sort of monkey with this stuff. You got to get it on and get it done. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do, because it kicks pretty quick. And as I do each set of seams, I'm going to pull the tape off immediately. I give a little bit more up at the top here because that's a pretty wide drop. I'm done brushing this one. And we're going to go right in the corner over here. I'll grab you guys and make sure you're in a picture. I'm going to go ahead and stop my bead there. There's a little gap in the bottom of this cab corner. I want to make sure I force a bunch of it down into there, so everything that I pull from this top where I've got too much is all going in that corner. And I don't want this too thick in here. I may have already gotten way too much inside that door jamb. I don't want the stopper that's on the door latch to smack this. So I'm bringing it down, you know, quite a bit lower. Just dragging it down toward the bottom, where I can pack it in this corner. And this is the heavy bodied seam sealer. I don't think you'd want to mess with flowable seam sealer in this unless you Wanted a non-factory looking seam. Trying to fill that gap all the way up so it's flush. I'm going to leave that one on there for a minute or two. While that firms up just a tiny bit, we'll take you over to the other side and we'll keep going. the inside. Get that one done. This is my first time, I'll have to admit, using a two-part seam sealer. I always used to use the regular stuff in the caulking tube on my older vehicles that I used to work on, but there's always a first, and I'm glad I didn't get any of the flowable type seam sealer, because I don't think that would have worked so good. Because this is already almost a little runnier than I'd like it to be. I'm pretty happy with the way that's looking, so I'm going to go pull this tape off the back. Take you guys back over to the other side. Hope you're not getting seasick. this stuff back here is already kicked, and it looks like I got a piece of tape stuck behind there, so I'm going to go jerk this other side, all the tape on it real quick, and then I'm going to come back to that. I've got to get that little piece of tape out from underneath that seam sealer. Remember I said bring extra gloves. I'm already glad that I did. Alright, I got that off. I had to smooth that out a little bit more with my gloved finger. There we go. Alright, and that is already kicking pretty good, so I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's not beautiful by any means, but it's sealed. So that's what we got there. And it's a smeary brushed on seam. It's a little sloppier than the factory one. That's a little higher. It's kind of hard to see with a primer line going through the middle of it, but and that's what we got there. So it should be just marvelous. I know that one's already firmed up. I'm not even going to attempt to touch it. And you got that one right there. And that one's a little flatter than the other side. I'm a little happier with that one. So I'm going to get some thinner on a rag and wipe my couple spots off there, and I'll turn you guys back on when I'm ready to throw some paint later. Alright guys, I'm going to show you where we're at right now. All the seam sealing was done. I showed you in the previous clip. Since then, I don't know if the camera will pick up that line of chip guard. I chip guarded from that body line down the bottom, and I back masked this top lip so that I could chip guard that and not have it up in the jam. I was going to go to the lower line, but then I thought, nah, you know what, I better go up a little bit higher. I may regret it, but I doubt it. And then this side, I put some sealer over that transition of the clear coat there because I didn't trust it. So I'm going to end up painting pretty much that whole pillar. And this red matches really good, so I'm not even worried about butt matching it to the door. If it sticks out real bad, I can deal with it later. Remember up there, there was a little spot of body filler. I sealed that to cover up those 320 scratches. And then you can see where it's sort of glossy there, darker. That's my chip guard on the bottom of that rocker. I could have used rocker chutes, but I didn't want anything quite so gnarly on the bottom of it. I just wanted a little something. So what I'm going to do, I actually have to go pick up some groceries and start dinner. It's almost 1 o'clock, and I need to go home and get that started. We're having Swiss steak in the crock pot, so we're going to be eating about 7:30 or 8 tonight, and I need to get that going so that it's ready to go. And my wife's got a bunch of emergency patients, so she can't get home to start it, so I'm going to go do that, and then I'll come back and we'll get some paint flying. So we'll catch you guys after a while. Oh, I want to show you real quick. What did I do with it? This is the chip guard right here. It's a SEM product. This happens to be the clear. There you go, 39803. I forget how much that is. That can is probably 4 years old, and as long as you clean out the tip and turn it upside down and spray it when you're done, it works pretty good. So they recommend 2 to 4 hours before paint, so I'm going to give it 2 hours. I've got it 80 degrees in here, and I don't have that stuff on real wet and heavy. So at any rate, that's where I'm at for now. That seam sealer is nice and set up and tacky, so it'll be ready shortly. And what I may do is take some maybe 800 grit wet and blend the edges of that sealer off. I know I should have done it before I was ready to go, but I wanted to see if it reacted on me, and it didn't. It sealed it up just right. So alright, I'll catch you guys after.